Hello and welcome. This is Amanda, the Nerdy Crafter, and I'm here today to work on my Craft Roulette submission 301. This week's show was so cute and so amazing, and sad at the same time. Mr. Producer lost his fur baby right before the show, so it's always hard when we lose one of our fur babies. So we sent a lot of love out to him and to Mary Gunn also, and just amazing show. Carrie Rhodes was on there. I've had the opportunity to meet her at Creativation last year, and such a warm, loving person. It was, if anybody needed to be on the show that night, Carrie was a perfect guest. She is just so warm and so welcoming. So I definitely wanted to participate this week. Carrie does specialize in shaker cards, and unfortunately this weekend got away from me, and I just did not have the opportunity to design a shaker card element to go with it. Unfortunately, the weather in Arizona has been a little rainy and yucky, so that does trigger migraines for me. So I did not have the opportunity to do a shaker card. Carrie, I still love you dearly. But what I did decide to do is a silhouette image that I've been seeing online for a while, and I've been wanting to try it, so why not do it for a Craft Roulette project? So this week's parameters were project appreciation card. So I pulled out this Sunflower Greetings from Spellbinders, and it says thankful for your friendship, so I'll be using that. Colors are Apple Farm, so I've decided to bring in some of my Lisa Horton Interference Inks, which are my ultimate favorites. Love, love, love these. So I've got yellow, orange, and red in here, and these colors on the right hand side, or sorry, the left hand side, show you what they'll look like on white paper, and on the right hand side show you what they'll look like on black paper. And they glitter and shimmer and shine, and they're just absolutely beautiful. So love these inks. So that's what we'll be using today. And then silhouette for the element. This is a stamp I've had in my collection for I don't know how long. So this kind of does the random, and random was also an old product. So this has been in my collection for far too long. But this gorgeous silhouette of a tree with the text next to it. I love the simplicity of this, and I think just stamping over the ink blended image with the silhouette will be gorgeous. So decided to do that one. And I was gifted these dies. They're like postage stamp dies from a friend. I don't know which company they're from, but I pulled them out along with my Gina K Masking Magic. And I cut out this size here because I want to ink blend this portion out. So it'll be fun trying to get this centered. I am going to trim down this piece of paper, so if it's not directly centered, it's okay. I could bring in my zero centering ruler from Pear Blossom Press, but sometimes, like I said, I'm just a team eyeball. I did bring out my ruler, my Pear Blossom Press T ruler, to line the die up initially, so I'll take, props for that. This tacky mat I'm using is Lisa Horton also, so I just recently purchased her tacky mat, and it comes with the rotating grid also. So that is her tacky mat that I'm using. Right now I still have the backing on, and it does make it a little slippery on my desktop, so I may end up taking the backing off also, but I just figured this would hold my paper in place, and I don't mind being able to move the mat around as long as my paper stays in place when I'm doing the ink blending. So my goal is to do the yellow, orange, and red, kind of like a sunset look to it. Or should we do it opposite? Let's do opposite. Let's do red, orange, yellow. Let's just play. That is the name of the game today, is just have fun, play, and try new things. So I'm also bringing in, these are Creek Bake Creations brushes. I do really like these. These are nice to have. They're quick, simple, and easy brushes, and I do really enjoy them for ink blending. And then I do have an ink blending solution that I tend to use quite frequently. So I'm going to see if how can I maneuver all of these things on my desktop to make room for what I need. I do need to work on my desktop. I will admit that. It's getting a little cramped in here, so my goal over the next couple of weeks is to tear apart this desk and start new. So I will be working on that. All right, so I'm going to bring down the red to start with. And because I'm using a blending solution, I don't want to add it directly to my ink pad. So I like to use my mat for this. Just a couple little drops of that. I do find with the blending solution, it helps me control the blending. It makes it so I don't get the heavy blotches. I still want to blend, kind of tap off and or blend off a little bit and then go on to my project. And I'm just using a glossy cardstock that I have that also has a little bit of shimmer to it. I like the fact that when I use the blending solution, it tends to help with the blotches of color that happen when you're blending. I am generally a foam dauber blender, and it works great with that also. But I don't know, these brushes were calling to me today, and I didn't want to go looking for my daubers because they were somewhere safe. I use that with air quotes in my craft room, so I'm going to stop there. Now, I do have some room for the orange, and then I'll clean my mat. So that is the Bright Mango Shimmer. And I'm just going to go right up against that Cherry Bomb. I think that's what the name of it was. Cherry Bomb Shimmer. These Lisa Horton inks are just gorgeous. I have watercolored with them in the past, and they are just a dream. So I do the same thing. I just use my mat to tap the colors off on and then pick it up with my brushes, my watercolor brushes, and they just come out gorgeous. I do like how stiff these bristles are, so it does make blending really easy. Kind of reminds me of like horsehair, just nice. It's got a nice texture to it. They blend real evenly. And there we go. All right, so now I do want to clean off my mat a little bit here so I don't cross-contaminate my yellow. And that was just a regular paper towel, so I probably will need to come in with. I keep a little bag of baby wipes under my desk. Highly recommend that. They make clean up a breeze, especially because I don't have access to a sink very close by where I'm working. There we go. All right, now let's bring in that Lemon Candy Shimmer. Ooh, that was a lot. Probably did not need that much. Sometimes I find the lighter colors don't show up as well, but this one is super bright. It is like neon bright, which I love. Oh, that's so pretty. So we've got the red cherry blossom, apple orchard kind of color. We've got the orange, yellow that you would find in an apple orchard. From the sunset to the apples to everything in between. And oh, this is so pretty. I'm going to have to make some more of these cards. That is one thing I do like about the Gina K Masking Magic also, is that it is reusable. So you can easily, take this off, place it on another piece of paper, and use it over and over. So it's not a one and done. That is so gorgeous. All right, let me see if I want to darken up just a little bit. I might just grab a little bit more of that cherry blossom. And because I do have some of that blending solution on my brush already, I don't really have to worry about, building more up. Very nice. And I like that how these store, so I don't end up getting goobers all over the place. Let's see if I want to bring in just a little more of the mango also. Oh, so pretty. And now that yellow's had a bit to sit, I still have extra yellow over here on my mat. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of that and just brush that in. The nice part is I can go side to side, I can go in circles. It really doesn't matter with this. Good paper, good tools, good ink. That's what it's all about. All right. So like I said, my goal here, because of kind of being under the weather with my migraine, was something quick, simple, and easy. When I saw these parameters, I had watched the Irene's Tailgate show beforehand, and I watch her Crafty Chaos on Mondays, which is like a 15-minute card. And I'm like, oh my God, these parameters would be such a great 15-minute card. So this, hopefully, her Crafty Chaos crew will bring in these parameters at a future Crafty Chaos live. I'm just taking a minute to put this back together because if I don't, it'll get all goopy-doop. Because it's such a great parameter. I think it would be absolutely amazing. Okay. So I can get my fingernail underneath here. And I want to keep this matte. And I did end up going off a little bit on the edges, but I am going to be trimming it down, so that's okay. And I'm just going to stick this matte on my Acron mount. Where else would we put it? I love it. I love when we have small crafting areas. You know, you could have a room that's ginormous, and you have a working area that is the size of this small glass board, which is a 1 by 10 or 0 by 10. So it's a 10-inch by 8-inch surface that I'm working off of. So no matter the size of the craft room, we're just limited to the little bit of space we have. I do generally like to put this in the corner. So let's see what this stamp. It is a red rubber, so in theory I can take the extra foam out, but sometimes I find leaving that foam in is really helpful too. This is so old that it is literally like sealed to the surface here, so I'm not even going to try to remove it from here. I'm going to lay it down and then where I want it, and I'm just going to add some of my ATG tape to it and pick it up that way, because trying to remove it from this plastic, it has sealed itself to the plastic. I'm sure nobody can relate to having, well, I live in Arizona, so it is a little warm in Arizona. So understandable why things could melt, but that was funny. I cannot find my VersaFine Clair Black anywhere. It is in a very safe place at this point. So I'm going to bring in my second favorite, which is the Catherine Pooler Minis Midnight. And this is a gorgeous black. It's super juicy, and I think it will do this silhouette justice. This is something, this stamp is something old from my collection. So I like to, especially when I'm dealing with the silhouette, it's tap, tap, tap. And then I will generally do a rub, especially because I really want that dark image to pop on here. Make sure I don't have any extras. Take a minute, let that ink set in. Double check it. Oh, do need to make that darker. My Catherine Pooler might be drying out on me. I might need to get another, or grab my ink and re-ink this one. I do have a couple other options if we need. Let's see. I do have my Distress ink cube here also, so we will try that. Because again, I'm looking for that dark silhouette. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this project. I generally like to do the first time I'm doing a project right on live with you guys. I want you guys to see all the good, bad, how it works, how it doesn't work, how I fix mistakes. Because I think that's reality. Far too often you see perfect projects that people put out there. And that is so hard when you see somebody's perfect project. And I'm like, I can't craft like that. Well, they can't either. They've just done it 2 or 3 times. And That is why it's perfect. So these little threads here, they are common in the distress inks. So don't freak out if you see those. The whole purpose of those inks is to distress things, to make things look old and grungy. So that is, you know, very common for them. So like I said, don't freak out if you see those. I did the first time. I'm like, what's going on? My ink's shredding. It's not. But this is the perfect reason why we love our Misties or stamp positioners, for if we need to go over something a few times. Let's try one more time, just to darken that silhouette up just a little bit more. I did just order the Lisa Horton soft black, which from everything I've heard, can work with watercolor and alcohol inks, which I love. So I'm really excited to try that one out. There we go. I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to place my baby wipe over this so I don't mess anything else up. Put my magnets back because I will forget where I put them, and I will clean that and put that away later. All right, so we have this beautiful silhouette now. So I do want to trim this down, so I need to find my paper trimmer. Let's grab these little black specks off of my desktop. So since I did a good job of placing this in the center, that means I'm going to need to come and trim it down on all four edges. And let's see. I do like to back my projects with a little bit of black. I think it really helps it pop also. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to go down one more to have a little bit more black there, or leave it like it is? I think I want to go one more. I'm going to go one more there. I'm going to do a sliver off of each of the sides. Beautiful. And then now the question is, do I want to distress these outside edges or leave them white? I am team distress. I do really like a little distressed edge to it. So I think I'm going to pull in my little sponge dauber here, load it up with my icing on the cake, and just gently go around these edges. I'm not looking for a deep distressed edge, just a little bit. So it doesn't look so harsh when it separates from the white to the black. I've been on a journey this past year so far, a few weeks. Seems like so long already. I've been participating in the Paper Stash Smash collab that's going on. I'm not part of their team, but I just wanted to participate along. I thought it was great motivation to try to work through some of my paper. And so I have been filming some videos trying to use up my, what I call UFO unfinished objects. And I have been just tickled pink with working through projects, getting things done, and, you know, making a dent in my craft room. So if you would love to follow along with that series, you're more than welcome to. I'm also participating in a Make It Simple Monday. That is part of the Art Impressions Way, Art Impressions Stamp fan group that Debbie Hedge and myself are starting. what we're trying to do is encourage people to pull out their supplies, their old supplies, things that are collecting dust, and put them to use. Give them the much needed love that they need. So just like this stamp set has encouraged me to pull out, or this challenge has encouraged me to pull out a stamp set that's been in my collection for a while. I don't want to say how long. I encourage you to also check out some of those other videos. So that one's two. Checking all my little jigs here to see if this one lines up with any of them. Ooh, that one looks perfect. Yay! I love having the two different options. The A7 has the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inch. The A2 ruler, zero centering ruler, has a 1/2 and 3/8 inch. And those are the measurements I generally work within. So one of those 4 jigs will work when I'm trying to center my projects. And I don't remember who I watched that put their magnet on there. Especially with not as much with the card bases. I don't find that it moves as much with card bases, but definitely when I'm working with smaller sheets of paper or just the top sheets, having that magnet on there to help everything stay straight is absolutely amazing. All right, that was quick, fast, and simple. We've got this gorgeous Krafter Roulette submission, and I think I've hit all. Oh no, the thankful. I almost missed the last requirement. So thankful for your friendship. So I need to put that on a separate sheet. Good thing I jumped back to the requirements to do a double check. Okay, so we'll need to pull my Misty back out for this. I'm just gonna wipe this down. I don't generally clean my stamps. I have a chamois that I like, but since I need to get this cleaned off quickly to reuse. Okay. And I need a scrap piece of paper. Why is it whenever you need scrap pieces of paper, they are not where you need them? I have a little bin that sits under my desk with a bunch of scraps. So let me see if I can find a white in here. White should be like my #1 scrap in my craft room. I make a lot of white scraps, so why that one would be a difficult one to locate is beyond me, but oh, I did. Okay, here's a little piece. My paper trimmer. I'm just going to start it at a 2-inch because it gives me room to trim it down and do some stuff with it. This is an old piece of basil. I love using scraps and giving them new life, and I have a number of dear friends that have gifted me with their scraps over the years, so I do have quite the collection of scraps. I think I want to put this in this corner here. And I'm going to give this Catherine Puller one more try. Like I said, I think it is just, it's either the stamp or it was the ink, but well, looking at this, it might have just been that stamp. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful script. There we go. Same thing, just so I don't get black all over. Because I did not think to bring my wet chamois in here. Why would I need that? Okay. Beautiful. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I don't know if I want to go a banner straight across. Oh, I do like that. Let's do that. Okay. Perfect. And then I'll bring in, oops, not the black. Just to mirror the distressing I did on the other one. These parameters are definitely a great bulk card making. So if you have lots of cards you need to make, this would definitely be a great parameter to keep in your back pocket to pull out for those bulk card making days. Perfect. Now this card base is off just a little bit, so what I like to do if that happens, one, I could trim it, or two, I can rework the paper just a little bit, and I just bring in my bone folder to see if it will let me rework it. There we go. And this card is complete. So I've got an appreciation card. I'm thankful for your friendship. I've got apple farm colors in the back, a gorgeous silhouette of this tree with some text back there, which perfect combination. This is like a single layered kind of junk journaling, simple, clean junk journaling. How's that? And an old product. This stamp back here was definitely old in my collection, so there we go. If you want any of the information, I don't know if you can find this one any longer. This Spellbinders one should still be available. It's Sunflower Greetings. It's a pretty new one. And that tree was from Stampendous. It was Cling Tree Poem. So if you're looking for that one, it is under Stampendous CRR 164. So thank you so much for joining me. I will get a picture of this up and onto the Krafter Roulette site before the midnight deadline tonight. So I will get that out to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful week and hope to see you again soon. Take care and have a great day.